Thank you very much. Welcome to the second part of our matchmaking, of our discussion on the partnership with Norway. This is my big pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the European Commission in our stage here at the European Commission auditorium. We're looking forward for this matchmaking event. We're looking forward for new interactions, business cooperation among you, and our team from the European Commission is also here available if you would like to discuss with us the cooperation under the partnership. Thank you very much, and I give the floor to the moderator.
I don't need this one. I will put it here. Thank you, Daniel, for this kind introduction. My name is Ilka von Dalvik. I work at the European Battery Alliance, and it was a great pleasure that I want to invite you to this matchmaking event, which is the first official event after the signing of this partnership. And because it is so fresh, I also have the great pleasure to invite the brand new Minister of Industry on stage, Cécile Musset. Please, your opening remarks.
Thank you so much. And yes, that's correct. First day on the job, and here I am. So this is really an interesting and heavy kind of day, but it's so important for Norway to be here. Honored guests and colleagues, industry representatives, welcome to this matchmaking event. A big thank you, the Director General Jorna, for your opening remarks. No, she hasn't been talking yet. That's how it is when I'm just looking at my script. But I'm looking forward to listen to you after. And I've been to a panel with you now, and you were really great in that panel. I know there are a lot of enthusiastic, brilliant people waiting to give their pitches, so I'll keep this as short as I can. In general, I think we can say that Norwegian companies are attractive partners for collaboration. German companies have figured out this already, including in the battery industry. Porsche is working with Hydro in an innovative value chain concept for battery materials and recycling. And Siemens and Morrow are working together to optimize production of top-quality batteries. Now, in matchmaking in general, it is important to look not just at specific projects. It is also important to keep an eye on the context. If you were in a date in a cafe, you might want to find out something about the other person's friends, family, for instance. And when you're a matchmaking session in Hannover, looking at a battery project from another country, you might want to know something about the infrastructure and policy for these projects in that country. I'll give you 3 reasons why Norway offers a favorable environment for battery industry investments and partnership. The first is that the Norwegian government actively pursue a policy of creating the best possible framework for the battery industry. This is part of our broader commitment to a green industrial shift. This includes substantial public investment in research and development, innovation, and the establishment of industrial clusters. We presented a comprehensive battery strategy that shows how we can develop a complete value chain for batteries. That means all the way from the raw materials, which we have some of Europe's largest deposits of, to finished products and recycling. The battery strategy is backed by financial support mechanisms and incentives designed to reduce investment risks and foster industry growth. The second point is the access to clean, renewable energy, primarily through hydropower, but also in the future from our waste ocean wind resources. We are developing these as we speak. This is a significant competitive advantage for energy-intensive industry like battery production. It aligns with the growing global demands for manufacturing practices and products. It offers European partners and investors an opportunity to engage in truly sustainable battery production. The last point I want to make is one I'm very, very proud of our highly skilled workers adapt in technology, engineering and sustainability. The Norwegian workforce is supported by a collaborative policy environment that encourages partnership between academia, industry and government to drive innovation in the battery sector. If you add it up, this shows why Norwegian projects are at the forefront of sustainability, innovation and competitive advantage in the global battery market. I would also like to add that Norway's industrial partnership with the EU enhances our integration into European markets and innovation ecosystems, aligning with Europe's green and indigenous transitional goals. This collaboration ensures that Norwegian battery projects meet the EU environmental and technical standards, making them, I dare say, highly attractive to European partners and investors. Okay, so let's see the presentation, but first I will believe it's Jorma. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cecile. And now we will have the introductory remarks of Kerstin Jone, who is Director General at DG Grow. And I think it is very important that we have those international cooperation, and especially with Norway that we heard so much good things about. So please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Cecilia, for showing us what a great business case Norway also is. And it's not for nothing, I think, that in Norway, 90% of persons owning a car drive an electric car. You're ahead of the system that actually uses batteries to the max. What I want is to take in this picture. And most of you may be struggling, with just being a beautiful flower, getting your project done and focusing on this. I had a previous boss who always said, you have to lift the horizon. And this is, if you lift the horizon, you see more, you see your whole value chain. And that's really what it takes to be successful wherever you are on the value chain, on these, I don't know, they're flowers or, and the promise of Europe, the European Union and Norway working together in the European economic area, but also on this value chain, is that you can really lift the horizon. You see off-takers that are coming into play. We see that these different projects can be connected. And okay, there's a big water in between, but you can see beyond. And this is really the challenge, to create these premium markets for green batteries, green battery materials, green raw materials, and to make them flourish. Now, matchmaking, you said everything about matchmaking already. It has its intrinsicies, but it's by seeing each other and, getting out of your project only that we can scale. Now, I already said in the other panel, we have different, we have the European single market muscle to help you scale and to help you cooperate. Our partnership is just one element of this. But Norway, since recently, is also member of InvestEU. So our big guarantee that helps to scale. Now, where I know it really hurts is the fact that on the scale up, there's very little de-risking and support possible from our budgets. In fact, if you compare with the US, 0.75% of GDP go to risk capital. In Europe, only 0.09. So we'll fix that with the Capital Markets Union and InvestEU and other things. But by having this horizon, you also see a perspective. And if you find yourselves the off-takers or the investment of off-takers in your supply, then I think we have a deal. And this is really where I hope that your discussions will be very fruitful and will deliver these projects that we can then, Norway and the EU, de-risk together. And feedback, if you think, we have this great collaboration, but it doesn't work because of a stupid rule or something, let us know, let us feedback, and I'm sure with Cecilia we will look at how we can fix it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kerstin. And no cooperation is complete without the industry. And we are here now to listen to 12 exciting companies that are actually part of implementing this cooperation between EU and Norway. Each of you will have 3 minutes each to convince the audience why you should cooperate with you. So the first speaker I would like to call up on stage is Lars Christian Bakker, CEO of Morrow Batteries, that is actually in production already, is leveraging B samples. So please take it on.
Thank you. Good to see you all. And we have, to your point, produced more than 2,000 of these. We call it B samples that we send to potential customers for their verification and validation. And in not too many months, actually late third quarter, we will start production of LFP batteries in Arendal, Norway, and by that becoming Europe's first giga-scale producer of LFP batteries. All other European initiatives have focused on NMC. This is LFP, and we are targeting battery energy storage systems, as well as several niche markets when it comes to offtake of these. And we look at Europe as our home market. We would like to partner within many aspects of our business, everything from R&D to material sourcing to recycling and improvements. So we are an open shop in that regard, and also when it comes to the next stages of ramp up and expanding our business, we are flexible when it comes to tailor making our production line to accommodate large offtake volumes. So you saw the first picture about the beautiful nature. Those kind of pictures, and even more so wandering around in that kind of nature, brings me energy. But I must also say that it's a huge energy boost to be allowed to head up a startup like Morrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up will be a presentation by Jarle on Nordic batteries. Please.
Thank you very much. I'm really excited to be here and share our visions. What a venue, and you look really great, all of you. So I'm really impressed. My name is Jarle Jøsæter, CEO of Nordic Batteries. Nordic Batteries is a scale-up company in Norway. And Norway have already a quite complete and strong battery value chain, all the way from the raw materials to the recycling. And Nordic Batteries are located just in the middle. Our vision is bridging the gap from battery cells to applications. We would like to turn the cells into value. So yes, we do modules and packs, but we do the most sustainable modular packs in the world. It's 2 areas, both energy and power, and we are using cells made in Norway. So the blue one with the Beyonder power cells and the green one with the Morrow cells, and together with our flexible design and our in-house developed BMS, we think this fits very well for the energy storage market and also for grid stabilization. One of our advantages is green manufacturing, which means we can design the product and the production facility at the same time, which is very important. So yes, we do have digital twins of the product. Yes, we do simulate our products. Yes, we do simulating our production lines all before we do anything physical, which is a huge advantage. And we are in operation. We have our pilot line ready. It will be ready this summer, and we will start the production. And at the same time, we are designing 1 gigawatt line assembly to be placed in Norway to really scale up. Our product is made in Norway, yes, but it is also in close collaboration with European supplier. We think that is very, very important. And ladies and gentlemen, to build a strong European battery value chain is a must-win battle. We just have to do it. We have to do it together. It's a must-win battle to make a valuable change. So we are here. We would like to match together with supply chain companies, integrators and others. So please speak to my colleague and me. We will be in the Norwegian pavilion all week. So take contact. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jarle. Norway is a good place for cell manufacturing with a lot of new companies that are trying to scale up. So our next speaker will be Yasmin Arifadjic from Beyonder.
Thank you very much. Yasmin Arifadjic here, VP Sales at Beyonder. It's a pleasure to be here and present Beyonder. We are actually a technology house, but also a cell manufacturer, same as Morrow are, and we are glad to say that we cooperate and actually are a complementary technology to Morrow's, but also in cooperation with Nordic Batteries. We do deliver a pouch cell rather than a prismatic. Established in 2016, we focused on innovative technology, sustainable. However, we have really worked out and commercialized the first product now. So we have reached the commercial stage at C-sample level. Even though we don't have the build production capacity in Norway, which we do plan to have, we've bridged the gap with the outsourced production. So we are ready to meet the customer's demand, and we are looking forward really to cooperate with companies, Nordic Batteries, other companies in Europe as well. And we have already very good established dialogues with many of the European players in battery pack, but also system integration. So this is an event we are really looking to matchmaking here and see what this can bring further with the European alliance. So actually, without saying too much, our product focuses more on power, high power, extended cycle life. That's where we see our contribution, and we have already achieved more than 10,000 cycles at 5C, which is a unique contribution. Chemistries and LFP modified in-house with our own recipe. So yeah, definitely a complementary technology to today's energy batteries, but this is more like a power battery that we have. For more information, meet us at stand, innovation, meet us in Norway stand, and then my colleague is here with me, so please feel free to reach out and we'll answer all the questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Yasmin. Next one will be not a Finnish, will be not a Norwegian. It will be a Finnish company, and I would like to welcome Uli Salmi on stage, who is representing Finnish Minerals Group, and let us know about your involvement in the European battery value chain.
Thanks, Ilka, for the kind introduction, and congratulations to the Commission and Norway for reaching this great agreement. Very important. So the Finnish Minerals Group was established in 2015 by the Finnish government to manage and develop the Finnish assets on mining and the battery value chain. So we're currently, one of our group companies, Terrafime, is the largest nickel producer in Europe with around 33,000 tons of nickel per year, making it about 70% of European production. We do process that into nickel sulfate and cobalt sulfate, which are the raw materials to then the precursor cathode active material process, where we are also building capacity in Finland, in the city of Hamina, where we have a project developing 60,000 tons of PCAM material for NMC, and further in another project into CAM, the same 60,000 tons of nameplate capacity. Then to complete the picture, we also operate on a lithium project together with Sibanye-Stillwater, Keliber, where we are a minority shareholder, with a nameplate capacity of 15,000 tons of lithium hydroxide. And finally, then we are also wrapping up a battery cell project, completing the picture here with then also anode project with Epsilon, together around 10,000 tons of plant capacity. So all this means that we are one step before actually realizing an integrated battery value chain from the mine to the battery cell in Europe. But to do this, we need cooperation across Europe, and I have a couple of messages here, if Ilka, you allow me, that need to happen so that we can reach this. So first one is where we do need the level playing field with, for example, green premium mechanisms for the market to work for these kinds of arrangements in Europe. Secondly, we need financing through de-risking at early stage projects with public interventions. And the third one is relating also to see raw materials as a necessity, not only to the green transition, but also to European, national and European level defense and security. And finally, the fourth one, we need to harmonize the Critical Raw Materials Act with other EU regulations so that overlapping directives will not prevent the CRMA targets from happening. So with that, we welcome cooperation on all of our value chain steps here, and looking forward to the matchmaking with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Olli. Now, getting back to Norway, we also need the materials for the battery value chain. So please, Alf, tell us about Rare Earth Norway.
Thank you very much. It's a very high focus on batteries and battery value chains, but there are also other important components for the green and digital shift in Europe, like the permanent magnets. And if we shall produce permanent magnets, we need rare earths. According to the Commission, rare earths are the most critical of all raw materials. And the Fen complex in Norway is possibly by far the largest deposit of rare earths in continental Europe. And Rare Earths Norway is now developing a new standard for mining. We call it an invisible mine concept, which is underground, highly automated and also electrified mine with backfilling for high utilization of the deposit. And it shall still be possible to live on the top of the deposit. That is the reason for bringing materials back. We have a very high support, both politically and also from all the NGOs in Norway. So we are, in fact, we are invited into the backyard of the local people in the new municipality in Telemark, Norway. Really, they are asking us, when can you start the operation? And we want to be an enabler for a complete and compact value chain from extraction of rare earths in Norway to production of permanent magnets in Europe. We need to mind the gap. It's a big deficit between what's needed. It's no production of rare earths and permanent magnets in Europe today, and we need to mine that. So that is our ambition, and our main concern is price volatility, and it's a very, very high risk. So we are now looking for the critical raw materials act, and we are asking the Norwegian government to establish the same type of de-risking as they are for the other in the other end of the green and digital value chains in Norway. That's important for us. We are supported by EIT Raw Materials, by the European Raw Materials Alliance, and also from Horizon Europe. So this cooperation between Norway and the Commission is very important. So we are looking forward to a close cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, Alf. Next on stage is another mining company from Norway that also is aiming at producing the most sustainable materials. Please, Olaf.
Thank you, Ilke. We are actually not calling us a mining company. We are a mineral extraction company. Why do I say that? I will come to. I think Norway Mineraler, we have our deposits in the southwest of Norway. It's a huge deposit of phosphate, vanadium, titanium, which are all on the list of the critical raw materials in EU. In order to exemplify what this can mean, I will take phosphorus, which is one product we can make. Today, all phosphorus in Europe, going to the LFP battery production, to the chemistry, flammable, all what it's needed, is imported. We can ramp up to 140% of today's import. Why should we do that, or above the import today? Because we believe in LFP battery. We do see a huge increase in the demand for phosphorus in that segment. Another battery technology which we believe in and have research and development programs on is vanadium. Vanadium redox flow technology for large-scale, long-duration storage of energy, which will be very important as we get more and more renewables into our energy systems. Why do we focus on these applications? Because our ore is igneous, it's magmatic, it's not sedimentary. That means that we don't have any heavy metals into our products. That makes it very suitable for high-end products into the battery and digital usage. Then I will spend some time on the ESG. ESG, of course, it's a governance for us. We will follow the best standards, but it's also some kind of responsible mining activity. Responsible in the fact that we will take out a lot of ore. Some of it will be translated into minerals, some of it will be tailings. We are looking to actually find value chains that can use our tailings to a product that can be sold in the market, in addition to the minerals we extract. In that case, we have a collaboration with one Finnish company, Betolar, for geopolymer cement production, which can be used for producing elements to coastal protection. So, I will end that mineral extraction is an intrinsic part of the energy challenge. We need more minerals, we need them sooner, and we need them everywhere, especially in Europe. And Norge Mineraler will be a partner for the industry in EU to actually reach its goals for green, digital and energy transition. We have established a research and development company where we have all our research and development portfolio collected. So if anyone has ideas, we are very receptive to take on those ideas and make them happen in reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Olaf. The next company, I think, is not about extraction from the ground, but extraction from somewhere else. So please welcome Bergen Carbon Solutions, Odd.
Thank you very much. Thanks for attending. Bergen Carbon Solutions is indeed a material technology company. We are listed on the Oslo Stock Exchange. And I would say we are one of very few pure play CCU developers. We make sustainable green carbon, and that is green carbon for the battery industry. It's mainly carbon nanotubes and anode graphite. And they are all important input parameters for the batteries. The CNT is conductive agents, make the batteries faster, more durable, and longer lifetime. We are making something like 3 tons per year of this through an electrolysis process where we are consuming the CO2 in the process. We know that 70% of the world batteries today contains CNT, and that is in the order $10 billion global market. Most of this is produced in a very non-sustainable way with a massive CO2 emittance, more than 70,000 tons per year, while our technology are consuming CO2 in the order of 2 kilos of CO2 per produced kilo of carbon. We can do this local production, and we can also do it from fume gas straight from large CO2 point emitters through our electrolyzers and feed it into battery production. That is a very attractive full circle carbon value chain. So I would say that the perception of clean batteries, in order for us to, in order for the battery industry to be clean, it needs to contain of clean input products, and that is why we are here. Thanks for your attention.
Thanks, Odd. The next one will be Stian Matshus from Vianode, who is producing synthetic graphite, a material that is dearly needed for the European battery value chain.
Thank you. We will continue a little bit in the graphite space. So the electrification we are having now requires an enormous amount of batteries. These batteries must be made in a truly sustainable way. It does not make much sense to make the world's greenest batteries if the input materials on the cathode side and the anode side are not produced sustainably. Today, Europe is completely depending on imports from Asia of these materials, anode materials that often come with a huge environmental footprint. This is produced mainly with coal power and in energy inefficient processes. This is the issue that Vianode will solve. We are going in with new technology that has been developed over the last years that are much more energy efficient fundamentally. It's much more resource efficient, and we can then get a 90% reduction in the overall CO2 footprint of production of these materials. Graphite is the major part of the battery. In a way, like Elon Musk said, it should have been called not lithium-ion batteries, but nickel graphite batteries, because that are the two key parts of the battery. And really, one of the most cost-efficient ways to reduce the overall CO2 footprint of batteries and EVs is to replace the graphite at the anode with sustainably produced material. We are not only stopping at making this much more sustainably, we are also looking at recycling of anode graphite, where we have very good results, and we think this really needs to be part of the solution when this industry, which is now virtually non-existing in our part of the world, has to scale up to about 1 million tons by 2030. We are now 180 dedicated Vianodians working hard on this every day to scale up. Here you see the picture from our full-scale facility that we're setting up in Norway now, starting in Q3, where we will produce these materials at full scale. So this is the first step. We have large ambitions to be able to supply these materials to 3 million EVs by 2030, scaling up to really large scale, both in Europe and North America. We see a lot of interest for our sustainable materials. There are some framework conditions that must be in place. We think it's really important that it's really incentivized to make the right choices on choosing sustainable products produced locally. So the EU now have big targets for localizing this supply chain, 40% of the materials produced locally, and Vianode will definitely be part of the solution to make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Stian. So far we have heard about the upstream on where we're getting the material from, but what to do once we are final in the battery value chain and trying to get rid of the battery materials, or rather recycle them. Please, Hydrovolt, Lorenz Egner.
Hello. Hello, I'd like to present you Hydrovolt. Hydrovolt is a Norwegian battery recycler, and that means that we pretty much receive batteries from our partners, support with the collection, and ultimately discharge the batteries at our facilities. Then we dismantle and crush and sort them to ultimately get black mass for new batteries. And that's the core fundament of our business, that we want to enable the creation of new batteries. We're the missing link in that part of the circularity, and this is pretty much our role. And we are a Norwegian company. This is not a coincidence. The EV adoption is famously one of the highest in Norway. This means that we have a fairly solid track record in Norway in the recycling industry to build that expertise and start recycling in our facilities. So that's what we've been doing since 2020. And we have today a factory in Fredrikstad in Norway, which has an annual battery pack capacity of 12,000 tons. So that's what we would usually receive, automotive grade batteries, system or modules. But we are also happy to have conversations around any other type of feedstock that maybe your business has. They may be industrial applications, stationary applications, or potentially even production scrap from your facilities. So I will be available here at the fair in the Battery Norway booth. Feel free to reach out to me personally. In case you happen to have a busy schedule, drop me an email on my email address on the screen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lorenz. Next up, we will be listening to a Dutch company called Powal, who is producing a powder for nanocoating. Please tell us why you do that.
Thank you, Ilka. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Rode Kool and I'm the CEO of Powal. As we heard already before this morning, the whole battery industry, which is relatively new, it's all about speed and scale. But before we establish that across the value chain, we need to make the business case work. The business case, which we've been working all together a long time on already, is about reducing the overall, starts with reducing the overall cost. That's about indeed the scale and taking out the inefficiencies, but also about introducing new technologies. And these new technologies enable us also to make the batteries more sustainable, reducing the CO2 footprint, taking out those raw materials we don't want to have in. Ultimately, all the batteries, of course, need to perform better. They need to have a higher capacity and longer cycle life, because new technology introduced in batteries typically has as a consequence that the cycle life goes down. And that's where we come in, Powal. So here you see an example of NMC powder, but we have a platform technology, because what we do, we take the powder of a battery, both on the cathode side or on the anode side, and we apply a nano coating on that. That's a very precise, very, very thin atomic layer, thin coating on all the powders. And by doing that, we enhance the durability. This is in fact an enabler to do that, to introduce new technologies, which we saw on the left. So the result we get from applying these technologies is very good. Now the differentiator for Powal is that we have a unique technology which it can be scaled. And we've done that over the last couple of years, because these developments unfortunately take time, although we want to speed up. So we've been able to scale our technology from the lab almost to the fab. Now we're at industrial pilot scale. That's ready. So what we offer to our partners in the market is two things. Basically, we work together with various partners to offer R&D services, product development, to be on that part of that technology roadmap for the new products to come to the market by developing these nano coatings, but then ultimately, of course, to enable them to produce at an industrial scale. So here we're looking for this matchmaking event here. We're looking for new partners. We have already partners in Norway. We're very proud of having Morrow as our partner, and we even on the investor side we have Sandwater, a VC from Norway, also as our partner. But we're looking for more, because we want to be able to place our industrial pilot somewhere, because we're gearing up to be ready for the giga scale. So if you want to talk to me, come talk to me afterwards, or look me up on the internet if you want to know more. Happy to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Roderick. Next up is Siemens, a global technology company, of course. Masha, please tell us about your involvement in the battery value chain and what you offer. Keep it. Oh.
That one?
Try this one. And test. Sorry, try the other one.
Test?
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
So, Siemens is a strong partner for industrial automation and digitalization in many industries in general. But the battery industry has a lot of complexity. It's developing with a great pace. So that's why we at Siemens decided to invest specifically into battery R&D, to build up know-how along the whole battery value chain and to drive innovations to target specific use cases challenging the battery industry nowadays. Let me give you an example of 3 ideas, 3 innovations we are currently driving and developing. For once, we are looking at the battery life cycle, at the battery value chain, developing a battery passport, trying to create transparency over the supply chain in sync with the current regulations. A second big focus we put on the cell production and the battery production. With inline quality inspection solutions, we want to enhance quality of battery manufacturing and also the efficiency of the manufacturing processes. And a third big leg that we want to stand on, a pillar we want to stand on, is opening up the circularity aspect of it, going into the recycling processes, making circularity possible at scale. For example, with solutions like adaptive pack opening. You all probably know the proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So, great, we're building up new solutions, new innovations. But we believe that in order to really tackle the battery industry, which is moving at such a pace, at such a complexity, at such a volatility, you all know it here, we need to do both. You need to go fast and far. So we need to build strong networks, and strong networks containing high-tech solutions, high-tech startups, high-tech companies, fostering innovation in the battery industry. We can do this in Europe, Norway, Germany, other European companies. We need a strong network with industrial players along the whole value chain to understand the value chain better and to create synergies, leveraging us in front of competition from Asia. We need to include the academic strength of research and pre-development into our networks. That's why we're looking for partnerships with universities. And last but not least, we want to be targeting the real pressuring questions of nowadays in consortia, in working groups, in initiatives, be it governmental, be it industrial. We are currently part of many, and we aim to enhance that network as well. We are currently exhibitioning our battery passport in Hall 9, so if you're interested, stop by. And if you're interested about, because this is not exhaustive, we have more innovations actually going on, feel free to contact me, Masha Mandl from Siemens. In future over LinkedIn, you'll find me easily, and I'll be happy to tell you more about what we're doing, and I'll be happy to connect today to together tackle some challenges in the battery industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Masha. That was a very good presentation. I especially like that we need to go fast and we need to go together. And last out of our presentation will be Valtteri Tanninen from Process Genius. Please tell us about your solutions.
Thank you, thank you. So, good afternoon. My name is Valtteri Tanninen. I'm the business director from Process Genius, and as a company, with our digital twin solutions, we focus and aim to deliver state-of-the-art visualizations for companies battling with the digital noise and the delay that comes with it. Like the slide shows, yes, we have been in operation a little bit now over a decade. We have over 60 customers using our digital twin platform, over 100 plants, mines, and factories attached to it. And if we go, what have we learned during this period of time in business? Well, one of the key things that companies that we work with, they tend to share the same kind of issues, and that's the amount overwhelming of the digital noise and the costly delay that comes with it. So together with companies, we have decided to tackle this issue
Frank from Siemens
by visualizing the data.
I don't see.
If you go a bit deeper into the points in the slide, whether the use case requires 2D or 3-dimensional pictures, we can embed the customer's real-time data on top of it and make the customized reports. As a modular product, the implementations are quick, and really cost efficient, mainly because of the minimal coding requirement. Everything that happens on our platform is role-based. So we give the ability to the customer to configure the views, variations, and the data that they want to see and what is valid for them in order to perform their tasks during the day. We have seen also use cases where animation and displaying moving objects on top of a digital twin has been valid case. It is quite valid information to show what has happened, but even more valuable to animate what is going to happen. We are the ones providing a tool to help companies get better at informing and deleting that overwhelming digital noise. I had a, sorry? I had an animation here. Can you click next one? Thank you, great. It might be a bold statement, but at this moment, our digital twin platform is the most advanced application to view real-time customer data on top of three-dimensional layout. The user is the expert of their own process, so we want to give the ability for them to configure the platform to fit their industry and role-based specific needs. In the field of digital twins, innovative features such as just mentioned configuration tool, we are changing the game and we want to change the game. In the constantly changing industrial environment, it is crucial to have features that enable the users to configure the platform to fit their needs. After all, we all know that only constant is the change in the industry. Okay, thank you for listening. We are going to be here around whole week at Hall 15, AO6. It's going to be Baden-Württemberg joint stand. Please visit us. And we are also going to be present here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Valtteri. I think that was a brilliant presentation of our companies along the entire battery value chain. And I think for everyone who wants to learn more about those companies, you are cordially invited to the Norwegian pavilion that is just 200 meters down in the same hall. Battery Norway, the industrial association of the Norwegian battery industry, will be present there. Paul, maybe you could stand up so people can identify you. He is your point of contact. And I think we're a little bit ahead of time. So for a closing remark, Siemens was supposed to be on stage. Is he here? No, no, he's not. But maybe we can wait. And in the meantime, I would like to ask Tore Sekenes, who's leading the European Battery Alliance, on stage. He has been hosting a high-level panel this morning with a lot of very interesting guests from the European Commission, the European Investment Bank, and some industries from EU and Norway, and maybe give his main reflections from this morning and also what you have listened to today.
Thank you very much. I think my main reflections from this morning, and that is actually a reflection I have from not only this morning, but it's a big difference now going back in time. A big difference from now and say 3, 4, 5 years ago is that most of us, I would say maybe all of us, are talking the same language. We are very on the same page when it comes to the challenges that we are facing. It's about financing, it's about raw materials, and in fact what the industry has managed to do beyond scaling up in many parts of the industry is that it's a much more unified troop of people, so to say, across all companies. This leads me to one more reflection, again bigger than the very good panel we just had, and that is that the sense of there's one sense of urgency is there. We need more of that, but also a sense that usually we go into most of the things we do industrially thinking of competition. And of course we have competition, but a big difference is that even if everyone holds hands trying to make this work, we're not enough. So yes, we will compete. In the future we'll for sure compete, and in many aspects we do compete. But cooperation is the flavor of this decade, I would say. Not just the moment, but the decade. I think those are two very high-level reflections that I have. Now, specifically on the panel, I see, judging from the three industrial companies we had, we're all facing the same challenges. It is trying to make the whole value chain hold together, to make sure that you have customers, make sure that you have suppliers, make sure that you have the technology providers, and so on. And we're all fighting that fight, so to say. And if you have that in order, then, generally speaking, then financing isn't such a big problem. If you've done the homework on all those good things, then finance tends to, with time, materialize, which I think is a good thing. Yes, I think those are my general comments. Ilka, were you thinking of something in particular?
On access to finance, maybe you could say some words about this newly launched one-stop shop for the European battery industry.
Yes, that might be interesting. We didn't mention that in the panel, but there is something called the one-stop shop, indicating you go to one place and solve all your problems. I can't promise that it will solve all your problems, but what is the one-stop shop? The one-stop shop is a tool that we at InnoEnergy have organized. We were asked by the European Commission to organize some kind of a tool so that initiatives looking for finance can go to one place and find out what different tools are there available. This will talk about this tool that you log into and give your details. Is a tool that will go into both public and private finance, and depending on the profile of your company, then we give training on how to get finance, but also information on what public and private finance is probably suitable for your type of company in the phase of your activity, so to say. Behind the tool, there is a number of people who evaluate and look at your company to try to figure out what is the best route to get to financing.
Thank you very much, Tore, also on this information. And now we have our final concluding remarks, I think, from Siemens. Frank Braten, now you're... Sorry for rushing you up on stage. Thank you.
So, thank you. I'm running from one thing to the other. We are here to support the whole value chain. So everything from raw material to production and the green passport, and we are glad to be partnering up. So yeah, thank you very much for. This slide was new to me.
It was presented by your brilliant co-worker, Masha Mandan.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, Siemens is part of the whole value chain. We think also a big important thing is the partnership, going in partnering together, sharing, and using digital tools technology is the solution for sustainable industry. So in the end, a European collaboration, not only Norway, Germany, but the whole EU, is important for us, and we think that we can provide everything in the battery industry together. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. And I think with those words, I would like to close this partnership, continue the matchmaking at the Norwegian Pavilion. I don't know if you want to say some final words, Daniel? I think this has been very interesting, and I think we really saw this full breadth of activities along the entire battery value chain that is happening both in Norway and in Europe, and I hope a lot of good cooperation will come out of this matchmaking event. Thank you all for listening in.
Thank you. Just few words from my side. You're also welcome to stay here. But no, thank you very much. I think it's quite important. We got a group of companies, startups, more mature companies here in the room. We are looking forward for cooperating with you during the next months and years to supporting new projects, new businesses, new ideas. If you have any proposals for the partnership activities, what can we help to facilitate, or what tools are needed for investments, please reach out to us. You have the team here mentioned. And
of course we have Benedicte from Innovation Norway as well. Please rise, Benedicte, so people get to see you as well. She did a famous job behind the scenes.
Yeah, so thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.